Hi, Jason Spencer, founder of the Flight Formula, here with you today. I took a little drive out to my good friend Ryan Earnhardt's studio here in Asheville, North Carolina. And it's always a fun little trip here. I just love what you've got going here. You not only record bands and music, but you do a lot of video shoots and recording as well.
I do, yeah.
Awesome. So it's good to see you again. And for those of you who don't know, Ryan Earnhardt's one of the first members of the Flight Formula, first participants to come through. But he's also been such an integral part in creating Flight Formula promotional videos, helping us at the live retreat with photography and video. And I've always enjoyed his just artistic edge and everything he's created for us. And I wanted to take some time this morning to really kind of dig into what he's up to, because there's some really exciting things that he's been telling me about that I think will really help you guys, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, as well as tribalpreneurs, those of you collaborating on projects. And I'm excited about what's coming out. So I'm here to just talk with Ryan and pick his brain on some of this great stuff that I think will really help us all out. So Ryan, I want to dig into your story a bit, because the Flight Formula, it's not just a place where we launch products and serve market demands, but it's a course where we really find out who we are and why we do what we do, why we are the way we are, and how we can more powerfully serve the world with our gifts. And your gift has always intrigued me, because you're a professional by trade, but you've got this almost nonconformist artistic edge that you seem to push. You push boundaries in a lot of ways, and that's always fascinated me. It's always been, to me, like your number one trait that kind of sticks out. So tell us a little bit about, like, what's the story behind that? Where did it come from? How are you inspired? And what does that mean for the people that you're serving now through products you're creating?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think finding art, creating art, being somebody that's creative is always about exploring. It's really, in its basic form, it is exploring to see what's there. It's looking to find something that's completely new. So you mentioned the word nonconformist, going off the trail, Yeah. We already know what the trail will present, the views and, flowers on this side, swimming pond on the right up ahead. But if we break off from that path, we may find, something really cool, something that we can explore and discover. I remember about the time that I was discovering my creative voice, I had taken a trip to New York City, and I remember just being so stimulated by the sound of the underground subway. And it was so loud, and I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever heard. For some reason, I was really stimulated in the rhythm of it, and it was so noisy, and it was just overpowering when it came through the train station. And that's part of my fascination with sound and stimuli all around me. And so I started recording sounds, and I started kind of putting a beat to sounds and random people talking on the street. I was almost making like this record scratching kind of deal with like repeated like random sounds, and just putting beats on things and making electronic music and stuff. And I started really exploring how to kind of take and craft things I found and manipulate them to make them something totally new, something that somebody may not have ever heard before. From there, I went into helping other people do it. So, this is exactly what I do here at the studio. We come in, we have a general idea of what we want, but the whole day is unscheduled. It's like, let's just see what's going to happen. We kind of know like this is step 1, 2, and 3, but there's 8 steps total, so we really don't know what step 4 through 8 is going to be. And chances are we end up having 10 steps by the end of the day. And we end up scrapping what we did on steps 1 and 2. So like it's basically a free-for-all of exploration. And that's what makes it so exciting for me. Now, one thing that I've been really learning to dial in on is just being able to explain and put it to words. So learning how to analyze things, learning how to pick it apart, when I'm watching a movie, okay, what are they doing with the lighting to make it look so good? And then how can I make my films for my recording clients here look just as good? And so video has been something that's pushed me to learn how to articulate what I see in art. But also video has been huge for a complete window to the outside world. Nobody would understand what happens in this room. The almost magical moments, as cheesy as that sounds, but it's like we really do discover and explore things here. And if I didn't line up the camera to get a great shot, nobody would ever see that stuff that we do.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, multimedia is a big deal right now, especially with online business incubation, projects for launching online. The combination of video and audio put out there in a powerful way matters so much. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like, why does it matter so much? What comes out of a great multimedia production?
Well, basically, the best way to describe it is explaining the difference between a simple text article, which is great and it has its place. Writers have a way with words, poets have a way with words, but there's only so much that can be done with words on a page. So when you go into the multimedia realm, you're able to manipulate how the viewer consumes the same content. It literally could be that it's the same words, but on a video, you're putting it to music. You're controlling the pace of how somebody consumes that content. They're not going to skim around on a video. They may skim around on an article. And so you're really actually creating, sustain, suspense, a climax, a resolution. You're able to actually control the ebb and flow of how a consumer is actually completely inspired or uninspired by your content. And that's kind of the power of it, is that you can completely control exactly how somebody receives it, and you can really turn them on with the music and the inspiration. Or if you don't do a good job of it, it does take some care. You can really just completely bore your viewer, and they end up going on to some other YouTube video. So it's an awesome tool, but it does come with some responsibility as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see that, how it psychologically triggers these emotions. I just know when I watch a movie preview, for example, there are some previews that can bring me to tears and move me to want to see that movie, and then others that are very uninspiring and obviously will choose to pass. But the same thing holds true with product launches and business launches and how we tell our stories online. So tell us a little bit about the product you've been working on for a long time and are now launching. What's the name of the product? What can people experience through what you're teaching?
The product that I'm releasing right now is the ultimate guide for video marketers for the GoPro cameras. And essentially, we have these really cool cameras that have had a strength in point of view type applications, putting them on top of helmets and putting them on the back of people's dogs and, crazy things like that. But a lot of people overlook the fact that these are just great all-use cameras. They're super easy to use. Surfers are, creating footage and posting videos the same day. And so if all these people can use the camera, then, we can too. Even though we don't jump out of airplanes, we don't surf, they're just really easy to use cameras. Now, there's a few differences of how to use it, a few settings that you have to make sure to tweak and get right. But if you know a few things about the camera, you can really use it as a full-time camera for video marketing, creating great videos.
Wow. So you're basically taking something that costs maybe a couple $100s on the used market, a few $100s new, and really breaking down step by step what it takes to create a phenomenal multimedia story with the tool.
Yeah, yeah. The entry point to these cameras, right now they literally offer on GoPro's website, they offer a camera at every single $100 mark.
Wow.
I think it's like $130, and then 2, 3, 4, 500. It's like basically pick your price, and they have a camera ready for you.
Wow.
And of course, there's tons of these cameras on the used market as well. This course I designed as basically somebody that doesn't know anything about video. What do you do? Obviously, the cameras are easy to find. They're affordable at any price. And so it's basically 3 different sections broken down. There's basically the all about the camera and the camera preparation. Part 2 is really about how to really point, aim, and shoot the camera. So how to actually get good shots. It's not good enough just to set up the camera on a tripod and just pray for the best. You have to actually be very intentional about getting your shots. Part 3 is about using free software that's proprietary with the camera, so it works perfectly. And it knows the settings that you used on the camera. So when you pull in your footage, it's like good to go. And so really it's everything from how to set up the camera to literally how to publish videos. And I even go through some best practices for embedding.
Wow, that's fantastic. So if somebody's interested in creating more powerful multimedia stories, learning how to do it with a really low-cost tool like the GoPro, how do they find out more information about your product, and how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, the best place to find out more information is just at my website, easylaunchvideo.com. It's easylaunchvideo.com. Awesome.
Well, it's been great talking, Ryan. I'm excited about this product, and I know you're going to have many more to come in the multimedia arena, video, audio, storytelling. It's exciting to see what you're taking flight with, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with you with more Flight Formula events in the future.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by today.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan.